It's Josh Trent from Wellness Force. We're here at PaleoFX 2019. We are discovering the physical and the emotional intelligence so we can live our life well. But also, we're talking about how the paleo conversation is changing, and is changing faster than ever. So many people, 8,000 people from across the globe are here in Austin, Texas. We're about to dig in. Let's take a step.
I love Dr. Party. Can you talk about light as food? This concept is fascinating to me.
The impact of light affecting our physiology is now permeating into society.
Is there a way to recover using tools to overcome jet lag and travel stress?
Before I get on an airplane, I have compression pants and a compression shirt with long sleeves on, and the difference in how you feel when you land is profound.
Dr. Comella, what do you think about alcohol and the literature and the research around its consumption when traveling? Is there a way to mitigate the negative effects of alcohol when traveling?
The other challenge with alcohol is it really disrupts your sleep pattern.
Your microbiome, which is going to protect your immune system and protect those stem cells for longer. And focus on your relationships. Focus on maintaining a healthy relationship with yourself and your family and your friends.
Relationships, relationships, relationships. My belief is that the quality of your relationships is the biggest impact, or has the biggest impact on the quality of your health.
I feel like when we look at technology and even biohacking, health hacking, where's the emotional intelligence in this whole conversation? You know, that's what James is talking about, but that's really at the crux of why this actually matters for the human.
Josh Trent, Wellness Force, here with James Swanwick, creator of the Swannies. What's up with these, man? They make my life feel amazing.
The orange lens blocks out the artificial blue light that's staring into your eyes right now as you're watching us. And that artificial light at nighttime tricks our body and brain into thinking that it's daytime. So we don't produce as much melatonin, which means our sleep quality is compromised. And then during the daytime, if you're on a computer for long periods of time, you get eye strain and headaches, right? So if you put these on, again, orange is the opposite of blue, blue is the opposite of orange. Blue light cannot penetrate the orange lens, which gives you greater clarity, focus, and energy throughout the day.
These are way different than the Flux or the screen protectors. How are these different than the thing on the screen?
Yeah, so, well, Flux strips away a lot of that blue light, which turns the screen orange. So that's a good protection. You also have twilight setting on your night shift setting on your iPhone, twilight setting on your Android, which is also a good setting, but I would describe those as being like a 3 out of 10 protection. Wearing these and keeping them on will give you that 9 out of 10 protection.
And there's this thing called junk light, where throughout the day we're getting kind of like junk food for our eyes. Talk about that real fast.
That blue light, junk light, is literally stimulating your pituitary and pineal gland, which is causing headaches and eye strain. They've done all these studies now that kids who are like being exposed to this junk light are getting bad grades at school, they're having attention deficit disorder, they've got personality issues. So if you can block that junk light from street light, TV light, iPhones, overhead fluorescent lights, by wearing a pair of blue light blocking glasses like these, wow, your whole life will transform.
Okay, check out Swannies, because honestly, my mood feels elevated just from wearing them. There's also some science that James talked about too. Where can they go?
SwanwickSleep.com.
SwanwickSleep.com. Josh and James out from Paleo.
For me, whenever I'm looking for control or certainty, I know that's really not my inner coach. That's more my ego, trying to keep me in my comfort zone. Whenever I'm really not looking for a result, but I'm willing to be present and accept what is and work with it, that's my inner coach. So the ego is always looking for a result. The inner coach isn't looking for a result. You can call it inner coach, higher self, inner wisdom, whatever you want to call it, your inner parent. That part of you isn't looking for a result. That part of you is being with what is, accepting what is, and going, all right, how do we learn from this? How do we learn from this? So that's the distinction for me.
People always go into chaos whenever any of their ideas are challenged, because in order to embody a new concept, you have to let go of the old one. The conflict that we often generate within ourselves, that is a necessary part of the change process. And that's why I say you have to have spiritual courage to really grow spiritually, because if you really want to take guidance from your soul, you have to be ready to realize that many of the things that you're asking for guidance on, your ego has some kind of an addiction to or an investment in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony DiClemente.
What's up, buddy?
Look at that little microphone.
Anthony's
I was like,
here.
where am I looking right now?
Mic, Josh
You good? Anthony, you are probably the world's most famous biohacker.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't know about
Carrie, do you feel like you're also world famous?
I'm getting there. Soon.
This thing's on. Yes. You guys, like, what are you excited about? What are you excited about at the conference? What's going on?
This girl's jump roping over there, so I'm pretty excited.
Yes.
You got people working out, doing kettlebell swings.
Well, we just
you crushed that panel, by the way.
Thank you, man.
We were talking about how fantastic that was.
And I was actually gonna talk about this with you. You guys are in the biohacking game. Like, you're deep in the trenches with all these men and women, thousands of men and women across the world you work with. What's something that people can actually use besides a device? Like, what's a biohack for the mental and physical self that has nothing to do with a device? Yeah.
So something that they didn't mention on the panel, molecular hydrogen for a lot of people. Like, we're doing so many things to decrease our exposure to free radicals. We're going keto, which, like, the fat metabolic process just decreases the amount of, free radicals that are being produced.
Is this where you wear the nose piece, or can you get it through the drink?
You can do, so like Trucy has molecular hydrogen water machines. They've got an inhalation machine. They've got tablets. So molecular hydrogen tablets, we slam a bunch before we fly, and that helps a lot. Many people feel that. And it helps their body to, like, neutralize some of those free radicals.
Do you notice a difference, Carrie?
I do, actually. Yeah. And I was going to say sun gazing, too, is a biohack that we love to do. You got to be careful. You don't want to look directly at the sun, but if you invert yourself, kind of like the downward dog position, and you're looking up at the sun, about 10, 15 degrees off, not directly at it. But that will really charge up your mitochondrial.
Yeah, and regulating that circadian rhythm, like retuning it. We also did stem cells last week, and that's been pretty cool.
Oh, I can't wait to try this.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, Dr. Kristen Komella, she's so talented.
She is a fireball.
This woman is like, she has probably 20 plus years of knowledge that she could spout out at any time.
And that insight about the recycled air, specifically, like, that's tainted with jet fuel.
This is why I love coming to these conferences, because I learn brand new things.
It makes sense, but I've never thought about that.
And you know what was my favorite at the very end when Molly was talking about psychedelics and therapy? I'm like, thank you for bringing that up, because I think this year they actually removed the panel about psychedelics, so there's not like a specific psychedelic journey conversation. But man, that's a biohack in its own self.
It is.
Psychedelics.
Thanks to you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And also I was
turned on.
I was turned on by your work in ketamine. That's actually how I found you.
Yeah.
By your experience sharing about yourself authentically online about ketamine. So that's something that people can learn about, man. Tell people where they can learn more about you, not just ketamine, but just biohacking in general, man.
Yeah, biohackingsecrets.com. We've got the Biohacking Secrets Show podcast. Carrie and I are on a bunch of episodes.
Get his free book, too.
Yeah, biohackersguide.com.
The Biohacker's Guide. Okay, Carrie, Anthony, and Josh, we're out. Peace.
It is better to try to redirect your programming towards the highest value than to try to invest all the energy it would take to deprogram all the programming. And I think all of us can take whatever that set programming was in the first 7 years of our life and then kind of redirect it towards the highest possible good that programming could be.
What's up, guys? It's Josh from Wellness Force. I'm here with Daniel Eisenman, and he breaks normal. What does that mean, dude? Breaking normal?
Pretty much in a nutshell, that would be like studying what most people are doing and like using that as my cheat code of, do that differently to receive superior results.
You had a school bus that said breaking normal on the school bus at one point?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
That was the Breaking Normal cool bus.
Oh, it's the cool bus.
And it was really on a feeling. It was on a feeling, like I'm imagining you're doing this interview based on a feeling in your heart. And there was a few circumstances that catalyzed me to feel deeper into my heart. And this bus appeared and I got it.
You know what's crazy is I own a salt lamp that was at your home.
Yes.
He moved from Encinitas. I picked up his salt lamp. And this concept, I actually haven't gotten the chance to read the book yet. But this breaking normal concept, like, did that come to you under a waterfall on one of your trips when you were with the Raw Bras? Like, when did you actually experience the breaking normal concept?
I think it was probably I was probably fresh off watching Breaking Bad. And the Heisenberg, my last name being Eisenman, my dad being a pharmacist who probably is more interested in the drugs than actually the business. This is kind of like in my ancestral pattern. So there was something about this Breaking Bad concept that hit me, and I was like, wait a minute, Breaking Bad? I'm not Breaking Bad, I'm breaking normal, bitches! And I never say bitch, but you're getting me to break normal even more, bro!
Well, I mean, this is the energy that I think everybody feels from you, man. But your journey, I knew you when you were just starting out on YouTube, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
What year was that?
That was over 10 years ago, I would say. Right around there with the Raw Bras, a banana romaine lettuce smoothie.
What is one gem of either love, wisdom, or just in general, love or wisdom, in 10 years of seeing the space grow, navigate, transition, that you could share with people that aren't at Paleo?
Oh yeah, that nothing happens twice. I imagine most people's like unnecessary tension and or suffering comes from aiming to recreate an experience they already had or avoid an experience they already had. So I want to remind myself out loud in front of everyone here that nothing happens twice. This is happening for the first time, the last time, and my joy of being, also known as my job, is to be present with it and to amplify it and to feel the music, baby.
And it seems like to bring the joy.
To bring the joy.
Yeah.
The joy is here.
What do you do now? I don't actually know what you're up to now besides being a published author. Are you doing workshops?
A podcast.
You have a podcast?
I'm cruising on that. I'm loving that. And continuously running our events. The current one is called Tribe Design, and our 12th event is coming up in Breckenridge, Colorado, June 13th.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, check out his work. The website is something super catchy.
Let's go to breakingnormal.com.
Breakingnormal.com. Daniel and Josh, we're out from Paleo. Peace.
In a holistic system, if the physical goal rises, so does the emotional, so does the spiritual, so does all that whole thing has to rise in order to do it in an integrated manner. And so I've always known that like the more I can test myself and put myself through uncomfortable situations, the more I'm going to be a better coach, the more I'm going to be a better friend, the more I'm going to be able to have empathy for my clients. So for me, it started more physical, but then I think the journeys and the lessons over the years has been like, it's all integrated.
Let's have a seat, everyone. My name is Josh Trent. We're talking about lifestyle hacking. Daryl, you're known as the Primal Play. You move people's bodies. What does the hacking element mean to you?
I think it's any shortcut that enables you to achieve an objective, less time, more efficiently.
Financial wellness is completely aligned with physical wellness because it's hard to be healthy if you're financially strapped or stressed out or lots of financial anxiety.
A lot of ideas about how to be healthy in our world. We need to then consider if we want to try them.
80% of buying decisions are from women in wellness. What do you believe is the narrative right now that you're a part of that you think is actually helping this hacking component for moms, for families?
And I feel like moms now have such demands on their time, and it's always just constantly things getting added to the plate.
Data only goes so far. So this is for the entire panel actually to think about what types of data actually move the needle for someone to reduce their stress, feel more well.
Make a list of it and then prioritize that list from worst bad to least bad, and then start dropping stuff off your list, getting rid of stuff. That'll be the first hack, and the metric is you.
What is a good life to me? And then work backwards and how do I create a lifestyle and systems and operations and tools that allow me to get there most efficiently as possible.
This looks so interesting. It's like it's a different form of sauna where you go in there and instead of what kind of light is it actually?
It's incandescent light.
It's incandescent light,
so it's
which
full
is
spectrum light.
This is different than infrared.
This is primarily near infrared. So the sun is an incandescent light source. The sun is 43% near infrared. These both are 40% near infrared.
Okay.
So this is what you need. The towel and the stool.
I go in there?
The towel and the stool. Yeah, you don't need the towel. You basically sit in here and you sweat and you have the most amazing meditation you've ever had.
Oh, it feels so good on my back.
It's really quick.
It feels like I'm being held by a grandmother or something.
It's embryonic, is what it is. Back to nature.
So how much joules or how much power is coming out of this?
This is 1,000 watts of, so that's 8 amps. So it's just plug and play. But it's 8 amps of incandescent. So see, when they switched to fluorescent LED lighting, they took out the therapeutic wavelengths out of the incandescent bulb. So we've created this is the original electric sauna. Actually dates back to Dr. Kellogg from 1891 or something.
And who was Dr. Kellogg?
The man involved in Kellogg's Cornflakes, and he was a doctor. He had those spas in the early 1900s where they were doing many things. One of the things they were doing was light therapy. He wrote a book called Phototherapeutics in 1910.
I'm already sweating in here, by the way.
It's fast, man.
It works right away. And I could see if you close this, that it would work even triple time.
Yeah.
Like if I went like this, 10 seconds later, I'd be like sweating. I'm already kind of...
I mean, I think there's no more no more efficient use of your time to have a restorative experience.
Well, and also how much beautiful detoxification is happening when people sweat.
That is the most effective way to detox.
It's the purest way to get crap.
But that's
out of
not
your
even the
body.
most interesting aspect of heat therapy. Heat therapy also does what's called protein refolding.
I gotta get out of here, man. This
Yeah,
is so
get out of
strong.
here, man. Woo!
Look at this.
Much more than detox,
The sweat
heat
is
therapy
real.
is all about improving hormonal response, refolding proteins, reducing insulin resistance, reversing disease. That has to do with remaking the proteins of your body, which are like the little line workers in your body.
So Sauna Space is totally different than the traditional like box bamboo setup because you can transport this anywhere. You can take it, you can fold it down, you can break it down.
Put it in the closet in the summer.
Like break it down like 3 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 5 minutes. Yeah, but it's all also exceedingly handmade. There's no like hokey, plasticky, crappy things.
And what is this?
This is just for fun. I made a labyrinth.
Ah.
There you go. Tracing labyrinth.
Okay, where do people go to get this beautiful labyrinth?
This is one of a kind.
Oh, okay. Where do they go to get the sauna space?
This is on saunaspace.com.
Saunaspace.com. Thank you for telling us about this, man.
Yeah, thanks for trying.
I broke a sweat in like 1 minute. I can only imagine what would happen if I was in there for like 10 minutes. Thanks.
It's fast.
Firstly, the thyroid is important because it regulates metabolism on a cellular level. Your metabolic rate of your cells is partially dictated by thyroid hormone. We know that problems in the gut can cause symptoms that look like they're thyroid hormone symptoms, but they're actually gut-driven symptoms. And the challenge is so many symptoms are non-specific. You can be fatigued and depressed from a gut issue or from hypothyroidism, right? So then the challenge is, what's the best order of operations for trying to help someone identify what the root cause of their problem is?
Take one, Mark.
What is it you understand about the science?
Well, we know that sleep hygiene is a huge deal when it comes to sleep quality. So temperature, probably at the top of the charts, just like keeping the room dark. If I'm getting 2 or more hours of deep sleep a night, I feel like Josh Trent when I wake up. If I'm getting less deep sleep because of temperature or light or noise or something that's kind of impacting my sleep hygiene, I just don't feel like myself. I don't feel like Josh Trent. I love your hand movements. You must be Italian like me.
Josh Trent hanging out with Daniel, Monsal, and Mike from Enlifted. Mike, how are you feeling today?
I am feeling top of my game. Top of my game today, yeah.
We had an epic podcast about language. Thank you for what you do, bro. You and Mark, tell people about Enlifted if they know anything about life. How can Enlifted help them with life?
We help you organize your mind. So, most of us, if you're like me, you just stacked information on top of information on top of information, really had no way to sort it out. So what we do is we help you organize that with frameworks, get organized, and handle the emotional and intellectual demands that life throws at us with grace and ease.
Oh, do you find that language is a big deal for you, or does it come easily?
Both.
Yeah. How about yourself? What's your power of language? What's your favorite word?
My favorite word, elegant.
Ooh, elegant. Do you have a favorite word, bro?
I created a favorite word a while back called Incredibler.
Okay.
That's my favorite word.
And is a combination of things?
It's just Incredibler. I like how it sounds.
The fun about this conference is that it's like hanging out with a bunch of friends, and we were standing around
like
talking.
It is.
It actually is
hanging out with a bunch
and that
of
was
friends.
that was a good vocabulary right there. So
Mike is soft talk.
Let's check people on soft talk, including the guy behind the microphone. What do you love most about this conference? Like, what is it for you?
What I love about, well, aside from the relationships, year after year, I'm seeing the same people. I'm with old friends. It's great to catch up. The thing that this conference does better than anything else is we are taking the ancestral conversation and we're taking the big picture, and we got that whole perspective, and we're applying it to modern life. So I think it would be a mistake to think, oh, we're just talking about ancestry, or it's a mistake to just be talking about biotech and biohacking and all that stuff. Is how does this all fit together, considering who we really are and where we really came from.
In our deepest core. And I think you feel like that's joy. Don't you feel like we're really joy at our core?
Yeah, I feel like pulling back the layers of resentment, judgment, imagination, and we just really are here. What is left other than to be in joy? I feel it.
Where do you think plant medicine falls into this conversation of Enlifted? Mike and I didn't talk about plant medicine at all on the podcast.
And you're asking me about plant medicine. We got this genius
That's
over
right.
here.
I know, we haven't even gone there yet.
I think plant medicine gives a perfect perspective on the language that you use, the precise nature of the language, what the language you have inside your own head, and how that's manifesting in the world.
By the way, if you combine plant medicine with language, which your thoughts are made of words, right? We combine plant medicine with language intentionally. I think that's the magic combination.
Why is it so magical?
Then you can do anything. It turns you into a superhero. Yeah.
And at the root of all, we can all choose to be Enlifted. We're out. Peace.
5G is not about faster download speeds. 5G is about the Internet of Things. It is more about tracking, surveilling, and controlling what is messaged to you than it is about anything else, and it's about mining your data and making you into more of a consumer by connecting everything around you.
All right, guys, I am here with Josh Trent with Wellness Force Media at PaleoFX. Did you have any aches or pains going into?
Well, it was actually before I was going to do the panel with like some of the largest health people, so I was a little bit nervous. And what I found was just practicing my breathing and getting the PEMF really cycled my nervous system down.
What do you think about the cellular health in the future of wellness? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think stem cells is fascinating to me. So I'd be interested to see how pulsed electromagnetic frequency actually can possibly increase cellular activity, and then leading to how does that relate to this science branch of cells growing at a rapid rate and using our stem cells for health. I think there'd be some cool things to look at for the comparison of stem cell and PEMF.
Yes.
I think that'd be fascinating to learn more about. So I'm interested in that. I'm also just interested in the meaning behind all these tools.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing like to have a phenomenal device. It's another thing as to how does this really help the human? Like how does it actually move the needle for our emotional or our physical wellness? And I think, you know, this company's doing a great job, and there's a lot of tools out there. So if it sparks curiosity with people, just allow yourself to explore it. And all these things, they're essentially tools. They're in this wheel of wellness. And so PEMF is a segment of that wheel. So I'm not looking at this like, you know, Willy Wonka's golden ticket or anything, but it definitely has some efficacy for some of the people that you've mentioned with mental health and also just feeling good in our bodies, which is why this is why we do it in the first place, is to like feel good in our bodies. And also we're half beast, half spirit. So this takes care of the beast.
Exactly,
right?
the spirit can get stronger.
We're not in the world that, you know, we're here at the paleo conference, like we don't live in the paleo world anymore. So there are certain ways that we can use the good side of technology to allow us to be closer to the primal world. And so if PEMF is that tool, then I think that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Josh, so much for being here and for being the health advocate that you are and spreading so much positivity and mindset and lifestyle.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for this talk. This was cool.
We all see ourselves differently than we did when we were 5. Our identities are not facts. They're not the facts of who we are. Identity is an ongoing, fluid, flexible process. The pro in vocabulary is not for professional. It's for process. Process vocabulary.
And Mike even brought it up to me when I was triggered by the should. It's practicing kindness as you go through your vocabulary training. The kindness practice goes against the angry dog.
If you're kind to yourself, you can learn faster. It's a trick to be sharper, smarter. I can be compassionate and kind.
Oh, I just want to say, you guys, the way that you articulate yourselves, this has been the most powerful conversation about language I've ever had. And we had Mary Shores, who wrote Conscious Communications, on the show, but Enlifted took it a step further. And I got love for Mary too. So thanks, guys, for coming on. I'm here with Michael from Restore Nutrition. Michael, you came up to me and you're like, I heard a podcast about masculine and feminine, and it sparked my curiosity. Tell us about that, man.
Yeah, it was just awesome. It was just talking about the truth of just masculine and feminine and our energies, and that it's not even hot or cold. It's not one or the other. We have both, and if we just release all of that social pressure and just let it be, how much that opens up, and we can actually connect with ourselves and let that just be expressed. It's awesome.
I love how you described it too, pressure.
Yeah.
Because there's so much obligation. I think this is the episode, I believe this is 149 with Johnny Blackburn. I'm almost positive it was that. And what a big takeaway for me on that episode was not fighting the innate kind of energy or signal that's coming from within.
Yeah.
I think so many men and women, they try to fight, like, the should monster comes out, like, I should be more masculine, I should be more feminine. What about what's actually just coming through naturally? Like, that's
it's
really
even that, it's that the cultural masculine or feminine. It's not what masculine really is in the power and calm and control.
Yeah.
And versus, I need to be stoned.
Right.
So that's not Brene Brown just had her Netflix special, and it's the most courageous thing you can do is be vulnerable. Not blocking that, right?
I get to watch that.
Oh, it's so good.
Dude, tell people about what you do in the health space.
Yeah, so I work with truck drivers. I work with my dad actually, and we help truck drivers with their health and nutrition and just getting off of the prescription pad, right?
And they also sit a lot. Do you help them with the seated posture? Because that's got to crush them.
We're trying to find better ways to work on that stuff. It's one of the reasons why we're here, trying to find things that we can incorporate that's easy for them. They can't just stop every hour and take a movement break. It's just not feasible in a business model. Yeah.
Well, maybe with AI and self-driving trucks, we can have like a little workout area in the truck for them. Dude, thanks for saying hi. You're part of the Wellness Force community. Like, let us know how we can support you too, man. We're in this together for sure.
Awesome.
We're all kind of being the modern day warrior together.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, brother. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
All right, we're out. So that is a wrap. The best, the brightest, and really the most fun I think I've ever had at any health conference. And there's a couple reasons why. The first one is that everyone's here because of their personal dream. That's one thing that's very clear at Paleo. Every single man and woman that came through the door, 8,000 plus people, we're all here because they believe in something. It's this shared interest of health, wealth, vitality. And that is really like the undercurrent of this entire event. I think the second thing is that it's a way that people can express themselves and get some damn hugs. We need more hugs in the world. We get to have more hugs. The oxytocin that was released here was more than ever, and I just had the blast. Probably my fun year to date ever, especially in 2019. So what I got from this conference, I got the power of community and the power of speaking truth, because there's a lot of people here, hundreds of panelists that are experts in their field for a certain reason. Yet, if you really dig into their story, they went through the exact same things that every creator, every dream maker, every man and woman goes through, and that is taking one step each day. This conference is based on giving people the tools and resources to take the first step, and then the second and the third and the fourth. And that's what we're about with Wellness Force, this discovering process of the physical and the emotional, this intelligence that we're understanding more about every day. And I am so blessed, so stoked to be able to be a part of this conference. If you have not signed up for next year, you get to go right now, wellnessforce.com/PFX for your big discount. You can actually get that, I think, for a month or so. So this is Josh signing off, kind of sadly, melancholy, but we know that there's great pastures to cross with sunshine in the future. And I will talk to you soon.